Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today I want to talk about a particular T206 card, Steve Evans. For people who keep track pricing of T206, if you go on eBay and search for T206 Steve Evans, you can see many people list common cards for a ridiculous price from $3,000 up to $8,000, even for a very rough condition cards. All these crazy prices was driven by something that I call the Evans Storm. That happened back in November 2023. So there was someone pay crazy prices for this particular Steve Evans card. This buyer doesn't seem to care about the conditions or not even care about what are the back advertising. In the beginning of November, he would just scoop up every single cards that he can find on eBay and other auction platform like PWCC or Heritage Auctions. As you can see from the auction results, he's buying starting from a few $100s and then start going up to thousands, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And their collectors notice about this pricing craziness, and people would just post their Steve Evans card for buy it now and set up a ridiculous price and wait for the buyer to make them an offer. You can see those prices can even go up to $2,000 for a poor to good condition card. That lasts for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. And of course, many people would think, are these even a serious transaction? People who actually sold those cards on eBay and they would really curious whether the buyer would pay for the cards. And what happened if the cards got paid? Would the buyer just play a joke and return the cards or claim that it was never received or anything trick like that? And obviously, people who sold their card, they would call every single steps that they ship out the card, insure the card, and because many of them will have to go through the eBay authenticity department, then the buyer would receive the card. So even the buyer received the card, I would think the seller was still curious whether the buyer would complain about the cards or anything like that. But luckily, based on my knowledge, no one ever complained that the transaction gone south. You can see from the list, the buyer actually paid at least $120,000 for 50 copies T206 Steve Evans card. From the people who actually sold the card, one thing that we find out, the buyer who bought those cards, his name is actually Steve Evans. So it could be because the player back in 100 years ago, Steve was his great-great-grandfather or some kind of relative, or it could be the buyer actually find out does a player have the same first name and last name as him, and he just want to get those cards. And obviously, that buyer have very deep pocket. And the buyer stopped buying before Christmas, and that's why there's still a lot of cards showing up on eBay with these ridiculous prices. And I guess whoever posts those cards, they're hoping Steve would start buying up those cards once again. This phenomenon actually happened before, but it was by someone who really tried to buy one particular card and kind of manipulate the populations of T206. However, the buyer who attempted to do that, he wasn't paying crazy prices. And at the most, he was just paying like a few $100. It's not like in full figures. So I can tell you this just because I was also a lucky one who sold a Steve Evans card and able to pocket some money for a sweet Christmas. I hope this explains why Steve Evans card on eBay have a very ridiculous buy it now prices. And I hope you guys like the explanation. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. If you also one of the lucky seller, leave the message below. Thanks for watching.